Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 169 of Pera's Playbook. Today we're joined by Isaac Kinne. He played football at Findlay and Michigan Tech. He's finishing up his classes at Michigan Tech now. We're going to have a good chat about all kinds of different stuff. So happy to have Isaac here. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, I was thinking back to was that last summer or whatever?
Yeah, I think it was after the golf outing. Yeah.
Was it your alumni golf outing?
It was that, and I was.
Yeah.
You said you interviewed like Alec Bornhorst,
Yep,
and I played with him at Findlay for a year, so I was just like, oh shit, like that's cool.
Yeah. I remember you were talking to my buddy. I don't know what you guys were talking about, and I kind of like nestled my way into the conversation, and I remember I had those like Tech football alumni were like, "Do you play on the team? Did you just buy you a beer?" And I was like, "I did not play on the team. I am not a football player." They're like, "Well, do you still want a beer anyway?" And I was like, "Man, that's how you know there's a community here at Tech. Just a close-knit place."
For sure.
Those guys, even once I said, "Nah, I'm not a football player," it didn't matter. They were cool.
Exactly.
And we can dive into that here a little bit later about the kind of the close-knit thing we got here at Tech. But yeah, and now here we are. Got you on the podcast finally. I know that was a long time.
Oh yeah, it was for sure. We had to push it past maybe a few many times, but yeah, we're squeezing it in on finals week out of all time. So that's, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're making some sacrifices right now.
Yeah, but it's for the greater good, I'd say.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna say you got big shoes to fill because Pierce, he was on last week, and we had a heck of a conversation. He's a great guy, so you got big shoes to fill. No pressure.
Yeah. Oh, none at all. I mean, obviously he's got a great mustache, and I can't really uphold to that. But I think I make up to that, like with the hair I have. So
yeah. You've got the hair, and he's got the. If we combined that, now there'd be something.
That's a one hairy person. Yeah, that's what we can say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I mean this is a great time now. I mean the weather. I mean, obviously finals suck if you're in college, but the weather's starting to perk up. People are feeling happier. Today was an awesome spring day. I hope you didn't have to stay inside and study too long.
Yeah, I did. I left the house at like around maybe 5:40 because I always try to get a lift in, and then depending on which lift it is, like I lift maybe for like 2 hours. If it's legs, and maybe an hour. It's my little guilty pleasure of just kind of cheating myself out of that one. So, but it seemed nice outside. I think I went outside to go yell at someone, but
yeah, I wasn't outside long either. Like to walk from work to my car and then into the house, and that's about it.
I mean,
so I didn't get to
steps
enjoy it
in
either.
there. I mean, it sounds like you did a nice little triathlon there.
Yeah, I think I got 3,000 steps today. Maybe
Okay.
We're breaking some records. Oh man, that is. It's funny you say that because I went to Tech for forestry, and I was a forester. Now I work at a high school, but like not being a forester anymore, like watching my physical activity just go.
Yeah, just deplete. Yeah,
like I had to walk for a living basically, and now I need to force myself to walk.
Yeah, exactly. Which I mean, whichever way the scales tip at that point, walking is always only fun when you don't get to do it as much.
It is. That is true. Like I enjoy going for like a leisurely evening walk now. Can't say I did that when I walked 10 miles at work.
Not at all.
Wasn't.
Not at all. Yeah. I mean, especially in the UP though. I mean, this is only a little under my first year of being here, but it's just like I have no problem maybe walking like 2 or 3 miles just to be like, oh, like this is a lot. Cause I mean, I went to school in Ohio, and the only thing they had there was 2 gyms and a bar. So
that's all you need, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, yes, practically. Yeah, that is really all you need. But it was very agonizing just kind of like walking around like, oh, they don't even have trees here. So
yeah, we've got plenty of those. That's for sure.
For sure.
is situated in the place. Like if you're on campus and if you're a freshman without a car, I mean, you can walk to the canal. Okay, now you've got
Yeah.
water to look at. You can walk
Yeah.
up to the tech trails, and you've got little streams and forests and like. So
Hmm.
even if you don't have a car, there's stuff to explore. And then if you have a
Yeah.
car, oh, even better, you can go
So
all
yeah,
over.
you gotta go anywhere. Fun fact, I actually swam across the portage over the summer. I thought I
Just for
was gonna
fun.
die the entire time.
Like, why? Was it a bet? Did you
Well, I,
lose a
I have a
bet
younger
or?
brother that goes here,
Yeah.
and we kind of like had like an inside joke almost because our strength coach was just like, "Yeah, it's like impossible. Like the current's too heavy. You won't be able to do it." And then he just kept like kind of nipping at it with me. I was like, "I think it's possible, dude." And I was like, maybe it is. I don't know. And then just one night, maybe after a couple too many barley soups, um, he was like, "I'm gonna swim it." And I was like, "Whoa, you can't do it on your own because if you do drown, like that sucks." So I was like, "I'll do it with you."
And then we can both drown together, right?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of makes it better. Like at least like we die together on that point. But he immediately jumps in the water and just starts swimming, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like I gotta catch up." And I was using like the Portage Bridge as my guideline of seeing how far I was like gonna make it across. And I'm already just like sucking wind, just like, and I look over and I'm not even at like the first truss. I'm like, oh shit. But yeah, made it across. Walked back, shoeless, shirtless, and shortsless. It was very interesting. Yeah. So,
I've got just an image in my mind right now of, oh man. So, like, at what point, like, where did you get across to? Where did you climb out of the water? Where were you?
so I live like right next to that Baskin Robbins that just got put up.
Yep.
So, uh, where our house is at, if we walk to the bottom of the hill, there's just a drop off. So we walk past the Uper Loop, and then
Yep.
right where those kind of like boat docks are.
Yep.
Then we waited at nighttime because obviously in the summertime there was still like boats going on. So we waited till nighttime and just waited for like cars to pass, and then just kind of like stripped it up, set our stuff to the side, jumped in the water, and we're like, all right, let's get it. We did have an interaction on our walk back. Uh, it seemed of someone that was lacking an asset in homes, maybe you could say. You could say something like that. And she was mumbling at us like, "Oh, you got to jump the bridge." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "You guys need to jump the bridge." And I'm like, "No, leave me alone."
You never know what you're gonna find in Houghton at night. I've
Oh my
encountered
gosh,
some
yeah.
interesting folks out.
I would call them critters at this point. It's like flipping open over a log like in the middle of the woods. It's just,
Right.
but they're always like great people. It's never to the point where anyone's ever offensive.
Yeah,
Like they even
and
have those.
you don't feel unsafe. Like that's
Oh
not
no,
it.
not
No,
not
no,
at all. I
no.
mean, they're usually like little people though. Like there's not that many like people that are like taller than maybe like 5'10" here, and they all have like spine problems from just kind of walking around. And I think the biggest threats are maybe the ones that you just see in the SDC like gym, and even those. No hate on them, but there's a reason why you get paid to play football. So
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Oh man, the critters of Houghton.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
bless their souls, bless their souls.
Yeah, I worked at a coffee shop my freshman into sophomore year at Tech, and at the time the coffee shop closed at like 11. So by the time I closed up and stuff, it'd be midnight, and I'd go for a little stroll through town after work just to see what the happenings were. And
Yeah,
man, I'd encounter two or three, people who were just plastered, talking to lamp poles, walking into stuff.
the lamp
You know,
poles here are very attractive. So
right? Yeah, they
you
have
know,
good conversation. I can't blame them.
they're good listeners. They're good listeners.
I'll never forget. I was bringing the garbage down because the dumpster was behind the library restaurant. So I had to like
Hmm.
bring it down the hill and around. And I come around the corner bringing it down, and there's a lady like squatting in the corner, taking a leak on the middle of the sidewalk. And she starts talking to me. I'm like, please don't talk to me. Like,
Ma'am. No.
carry on, but I'm gonna keep walking here.
Oh my gosh. I mean, at least their confidence is just that's skyrocketing.
Yeah, yeah. She might have had some liquid courage to help her with that
Yeah, yeah,
confidence, but
for sure. But to be in such a vulnerable position
right, and
and
just
to
strike up
be
a
the initiator,
conversation with a
yeah,
strange guy carrying a garbage bag, you
garbage.
know?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I can't say something like that has happened to me. Yeah, but we don't have to go over that.
I've watched multiple people get arrested.
I have
Actually,
also seen that, but it's always for like really silly things.
I
By
don't know
silly,
what
I
one
just
of
mean like
them.
way too drunk.
I don't know what one of them was for. It wasn't late at night. It had to be like 6 o'clock. I was working the coffee shop. I had a friend who was like trying to walk in the front door, and as he's trying to come in on the sidewalk, there's this lady going nuts, and cop cars just like pull up everywhere and swarm her. And there's like 6 police officers trying to pin her down on the sidewalk. My buddy's walking in through the door, like looking over his shoulder, and
That's
it's daylight in Houghton, and there's just just
it's like, what do you
everything.
have to do in Houghton to do that?
I know, I
It's like,
know.
did she like cut down a maple tree or something? Like I don't know what
Yeah,
was
she cut
wrong
down. She took out one of those nice flower displays they've got and ripped them to shreds or something.
through it.
Oh man, you can't make this stuff up.
No, you
we're
can't.
sheltered up here, but we've got great
Oh yeah.
stories.
Oh, they're great stories. Great stories.
And well, let's dive into how you got here.
Okay. Okay.
And we'll go back in time, back to Ohio, back to the
Hmm.
Oilers, the Findlay Oilers, and you played a few years there.
Hmm.
Um, One thing I found interesting reading your bio was so you're a linebacker, but you did a little long snapping work when you
I
were
did. I
with
did.
Findlay.
I
How
did.
does that happen? Do they just say we need a guy, and you're like, Coach, I'm your man?
So growing up, I have like six other siblings, and our dad would always say like, "Hey, like you're either going to get a scholarship or you're going to go to the military because I'm not paying for your school." So he cut a trash can, just like those old circular trash cans, cut it in half and put two holes in it, and then stuck a 6x6 in the ground. And he would slide the trash can on it, and every day you would throw 200 balls in it, and you would snap 200 balls in it. So from then till college, I would like long snap, and I showed up at Findlay, and I was doing really, really good in the summer workouts, but it was interesting because it was during COVID. So we didn't know if we were going to have a season or not. But I was like, oh, yeah, just to let you know, like I can also long snap too, which I kind of felt bad because there was a kid there that was recruited to long snap. And then I
You
took his
stole his
job.
thunder.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I didn't have to do that. But yeah, I did that for all 4 years that I was there. It was not great. Being an upside down quarterback, it's awful. You get dizzy, and then it's just I don't if it pays for your school to do it, yeah, for sure. But it's
Yeah,
not ideal. Not ideal.
probably made Dad proud though. Hey, like all
Oh
that
yeah,
work in
for
the
sure.
backyard, it
Yeah,
wasn't
well, he
wasted.
obviously took all credit for that though. Just that was me.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
like how would you sum up your time at Findlay? Like if you just kind of had to do it in one sentence.
that's a good way of doing it. I might have maybe a run-on sentence if I were to kind of explain it. Um, I'll just say it was like agonizingly joyful. How about that?
That's a description.
Yeah, yeah. It was unfortunate because everyone that recruited me to go there, because I had other offers freshman, sophomore year, like freshman year, I was doing really good, and I was getting contacted. Like I got a letter from Mark D'Antonio when he was still at Michigan State, and so I was getting a little cocky. I was like, oh, like I'm gonna
Big
go
for your
D1.
britches.
Yeah, I was like, I don't need to do all this like school stuff. Like, and I think after freshman year, it was like 1.6 GPA. And I was like, ooh, gosh, can't do that. So then kind of dad caught wind of that, and he started kind of like hiding letters from me. And like there was like one day I had a bunch of letters from Cincinnati, but he would tuck them under the car seat, and I pulled them out, and I was like, what the hell? There's 6 letters here from Cincinnati. I was like, he's just like, I didn't want you to like worry about it, kind of focus on your school. So I fixed my grades in that. I think I graduated high school with like a 3.4, which I thought was impressive after the deficiency of being at like a 1.6. But sophomore year, kind of I blew out my shoulder, and then all the MAC stuff kind of just went bye bye, and I was like, oh, like I have no problem going D2 NAIA. I just wanted to get a degree, and I wanted to play football, so I went to Findlay. It was a private Christian university, and my faith is very important to me. So I looked to see if there was a Lutheran church that was nearby, at least within walking distance, because I didn't have a car at the time. Which, if you ever walk 3 miles in dress shoes, you're gonna have a lot of blisters. It's not that fun. But if he can suffer on a cross, I think I can walk 3 miles in dress shoes. That's the way it kind of goes. But yeah, went there, met a lot of good people, but all of the coaches that recruited me got new jobs within like 2 weeks of me being there. It was our defensive coordinator went to Kent State, our linebacker coach went to like Austin P, our DB's coach went to Jacksonville, like the NFL team, because he played under Urban Meyer when Urban Meyer just picked up the Jacksonville coaching job. And so after my freshman year, nobody knew like who I was, so I just had to like reestablish myself. And the new guy that came in, he was a psychopath. I've never seen someone like I got thick skin, growing up with 6 other siblings. You have to kind of develop that. And this dude, like if you stepped the wrong way or wrote down the wrong word when you're in the middle of meetings, like he'd just start going like, oh, that's why you'll never be financially successful and you'll get divorced. And I was like, what?
That's a lot of hate coming from someone.
I was like, are we projecting right now? Is that what's going on here? I was like, we can talk about your marriage if that's what this is about. So. But I mean, it was like, I think that prepared me for life like the most. And it was nice to kind of feel like, all right, I'm doing everything in my power to get on the field and play to the best of my ability. And it's like, if there's anything stopping that, then I know it's somebody's animosity towards me. So that's why it was agonizingly wonderful, I guess, in a sense. But yeah, very interesting. Because it was after last spring, which I didn't know the ruling was if you didn't play in spring ball, you could play another semester. So like knowing that now, I wouldn't have played spring ball, but finished up spring ball my senior year at Findlay, and then got voted team captain. And then the next day went up to the head coach's office and was like, yeah, I'm transferring. So he was not happy.
Thanks for the captain, but I'm on it.
Yeah, I was like, you guys can just run another vote, something like that. But yeah.
Thanks, but you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the head coach, he was kind of weird, but the defensive coordinator, that dude, he had a few too many screws loose. Yeah. Like he would talk about like we had a 6th-year senior safety that he like adored. Like if he walked around with his shoes off, he'd kiss his toes. And he was like, oh, like I'd let him date my daughter. His daughter's like 6. And so everyone started like laughing. And we're like, oh, like that's really weird. And then we're all uncomfortable. And then just starts like screaming. He's like, well, there's a lot of dudes in here I wouldn't let date my daughter. And we're like, well, we don't want to date your 6-year-old daughter, dude. Yeah. So quite a character.
That's a word for it. That's a word for it.
Yeah, character. Yeah, very much so. He like broke a kid's arm too.
Oh wow. Like, yeah. This sounds like another experience. I've heard a few on the podcast of just crazy coaches, absolutely nuts out of their mind. A guy named Dennis Hayden. He was an actor. He was in Die Hard and a number of other movies, but he played a little junior college ball in Kansas. Okay. And his coach kind of sounds like you're just absolutely clinically nuts, except for this guy ended up killing a kid, like not on purpose, but like, his ignorance led to the kid's death. Kid was dehydrated and just like left him out in 110-degree sun for hours without.
We had a guy's heart stop during one of our practices because of him. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, these guys sound like maybe it was like
they should all go bowling together. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. No. Yeah. There's plenty of stories about this other guy, but they sound like kind of carbon copies of each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. for sure.
lunatics who like taking their psychotic ideas out on young men.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought the whole idea was to mold young men, not to treat them like
That's what one would think, though. You would think that, but I'm here to tell you that you're crazy for even thinking that. You got it all wrong.
Yeah. And that's what brought you to Michigan Tech, way up here in the north, huh?
Yeah, yeah. I have a little brother that's up here. My older brother played up here, and
It's a family affair.
yes, yes. The defensive coordinator, his older brother was my defensive coordinator in high school. So we were always kind of like intertwined. And I came up here for like a senior visit in high school, and I just saw the amount of snow you guys get, and I was like, no.
But you
But
still ended up here
I
eventually.
came here because I came here the year prior because my older brother that was here had a kid, and I came out for its baptism, and can't say it. It's kind of rude. His baby's baptism, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's no snow here. Let's go. Um, that's not what happened this year. So I was like, oh.
Uh-uh.
So my car's just, I got a tiny little Saturn Ion. So it has not left the driveway since like the first snowfall. So it just kind of sits there till it's all
Mhm.
gone. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Mother Nature pulled the old Uno reverse card on us. She's like, you
Yeah.
like last year. Well,
Yes,
not again.
exactly.
300 plus inches. That hasn't happened in a little while. I mean, just
Oh,
a
I know.
doozy. Just a
And it was
doozy of a
also doing
winter.
it's nice today. And then you get a
Mm.
weather advisory. That happened like 4 times in a row. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like it's gonna be summer. I'm gonna bring my shorts back out. And then
Uh-uh.
no, 10 inches of snow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You know what all the old Finlanders say though is new snow helps the old snow melt. I don't know if I believe that, but that's what they all say. I think it's just kind of like something you say just to make people feel a little bit better because
Yeah,
they're all
yeah,
so sick of
probably.
it. Like it's a
They're
complete
nice
bullshit
people.
lie. But
Yeah, yeah.
but they're trying to boost your spirits.
Yeah. And kudos to them for trying to do something like that. But that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So
And
go
these are the
them.
same people that probably said, I had to hike uphill both ways in 30 feet of snow with no shoes going to school back. Yeah, sure. Sure you did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I can only imagine the old timer stories of hiking to school here. I,
Oh, yeah.
they might be a little exaggerated, but I
Just
can
a
imagine
little.
one person's going to say, we had to shovel our way to class making tunnels, 30 feet high of snow that we had. So, yeah.
Yeah, just a little far fetched. I mean, mostly realistic, right?
But yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
So, you didn't have a psychotic coach here, or at least I don't get
Oh,
that
yeah.
impression from Coach Metlack. He doesn't give
Oh,
off
not
that
at all. Not
vibe
at
in
all.
his interviews. Um,
Yeah.
you know, if he is like that, you probably don't want to say it here because
Oh,
word might get
he's
out.
an outstanding guy. He's a
I
great
know.
head coach.
He just from like an outsider's perspective,
Mhm.
he seems like the perfect guy to take the program and lead it
For
back
sure.
to the glory
For
days. Kind
sure.
of like, I feel like Tech kind of fell into this. We're okay with being mediocre. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we're all right with 4 to 5 wins, and maybe
Hmm.
we lose to Ferris by a touchdown, and like, oh, cool, whatever. But like that does not seem to be Coach Metlack's
Oh, yeah.
perspective.
There's a complete new standard that's been set by him, and the previous head coach, I can't remember his name, but it was like he was a nice guy. And when you're a head coach, you have to be able to flip that switch almost like a player does when he like steps on the field. But he'll grab in the group leaders like of the year, and you'll set like 4 goals, and he holds you accountable to that, which is setting you up for success later on down the road. But the expectation is for us to win games, and I think we honestly, the only game we should have lost last year just by score and stats alone was Ferris. And because, I mean, we lost to overtime in Bemidji, we lost to Davenport because a kick return touchdown. And then GV was kind of a tough one. The offense couldn't kind of get rolling, but we're still like neck and neck in that. And I just see Michigan Tech growing off of that, especially with what the transfer portal is doing to other teams. I mean, Fair State right now lost their entire starting offensive line and Trinidad. So it's going to be interesting how everything plays out. But what Tech has that no other school has is a foundation that they can always build off of. Whereas at Findlay, it was like, I think there was better athletes there, but they would only spend a year there. Or we would pick up like 3 or 4 Power Five guys and they'd spend like a year there. Where there's nothing there laid down for everyone to build off of to see what the team does right. It's like trying to devise a completely new game plan every year, which is impossible to do. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And at Tech, you get people that care a lot about their grades, right? Because it's an
Oh,
engineering
exactly.
school. It's not that they don't use the portal, but maybe you bring in like two guys, or you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
and if you have somebody leave, it's generally somebody who's going to be doing like their fifth year or like grad
Hmm.
school. They're not bouncing out most of the time. Obviously, there are a few, but they're not
Yeah,
bouncing out after 1 2 years. Like if you look, most guys play 4 years at Michigan Tech,
yeah,
and
for
they
sure.
grind and they work their way up the roster.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think that what's also a contributing factor of people kind of like staying here for that long is to get back to the point that you made in the beginning is just the community that's here. I mean, you're the only college around. Obviously, Finlandia isn't here anymore, but you're the only college around. And yeah, there's D1 hockey, but the school is at the center of the tension. Like I'm very curious to see how much revenue all these companies get based off of the student population. Because it's like Michigan Tech is Houghton, and
Yeah.
just everyone there, and it's not devised into different like, oh, you have your blue collar, your white collar. It's like, no, this is Houghton. Everyone's gonna talk with each other. No one's gonna have a problem with each other unless you say something stupid and you got to get hit in the mouth. Which I can neither confirm or deny that I've had to do that with a couple people since being up here, but it's it's just really cool to see a community this strong because I didn't get that in Ohio because I mean Bowling Green was maybe like 30 minutes away, so it was like some of the kids were like, oh, like let's go to Bowling Green and it's like 31 and let's go to a bar there, and I'm just like, dude, but you don't go to school there. Like let's create like a family here because that's why we came to school here, not Bowling Green, and that's I think that's one of the most important kind of contributing factors for tech is that everything is locally. And then that's
Oh yeah.
only going to teach you to see other people and create more relationships down the line.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you mentioned like having we have D1 hockey, but like everything
Mhm.
else is D2. But even those hockey players, they don't look at it like, oh, we're
No, yeah,
above you. You go to the
mhm.
bar, and if you're a regular student, you just kind of blend in. Like you're talking with
Yeah,
football. Oh,
exactly.
you're on the basketball team. Hey, great. And you start having a conversation, kind of
Yeah,
like we did. I mean, we
yeah,
just struck up talking, and
exactly.
I got to know quite a few of the football guys over the years at my when I was at Tech, and I
Hmm.
became friends with some of them, and I think that that's just something you don't get at other schools. I'm not
Oh,
saying
no,
it
not at
doesn't
all.
happen at
Yeah.
all, but
Hmm.
it happens all the time at Tech. You go out any Friday or Saturday night to the Dog or the DT, and you're going to
Yeah.
find a lot of Tech athletes just talking with everybody, and
Yeah.
that's just I think it's cool that they don't hold themselves higher. Like, hey, I'm
No,
an
yeah, for
athlete, you're
sure.
below me.
I do also think it's the academic kind of factor that just levels that playing field because it's like, oh, like I play football. It's like, yeah, well, I'm a chemical engineer. So it's like, oh, shit, my bad. Like, please, I'm sorry, forgive me. I'll buy you a beer. But
Yeah,
just everyone kind of being on that same like wavelength, it makes it easier because it's like, oh, like this guy isn't a communications major. Like I can
right.
actually have an intellectual conversation with them, even
I
though I'm
know.
not an engineer. But
I wasn't either. I
Well, I
wasn't
can
either.
pretend to be an engineer if you need me to,
We
but
we always joked we were wood engineers, right? It's an engineering school, and we deal with wood. I
yeah,
mean, we're not making anything per se. We're the ones cutting the trees down. So I guess that's kind of backwards, but it just said wood engineers because why not?
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's so
Yeah.
good.
No, Tech it's a very special place, and I feel like you get a big
Mhm.
enough feel, but I mean, it truly is a small university, right? Like
Yeah, I
undergrad,
mean it's bigger
grad.
than Findlay was. So
But I mean, like if you compare it to U of M, okay,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
it's but it's big enough. It's like it's
hmm
not really small, so you can still get like a true college experience,
yeah, yeah,
but
for
it's
sure.
also not insane.
Small
Like
enough to
the
the point. Yeah,
right. I
yeah,
mean, the biggest lecture class you have is maybe 400 or 500 people in like Gen
hmm
Chem, but that's I mean that's a lot. Usually
yeah,
it's a quite a bit less.
yeah, yeah. Which I don't know how people do that at like MSU in Ann Arbor, sitting in a class with 500 people.
Yeah.
It's just I don't think I'd graduate, let alone if I just went to Michigan State. I think there's too many distractions there. So
And when you've got like an upper campus and a lower campus, and it's
yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
we've just got a campus.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we have upper parts of the hill and lower parts of the hill. So
The hill is brutal. That might scare some people away. Like, I mean, that is tough.
yeah,
Well, I mean, in the winter, you got to try to not wipe it coming
oh
down
yeah.
that hill.
I remember my first experience with the legendary hill. I was out with the at the bars after one of our last workouts over the summer, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna head home. I start walking up the hill. I'm just like, what the? And I like look up, just like, what the fuck is going on? Like I cannot. Like I remember like I had to stop, sit down, and just kind of like psych myself up, and I was like, this is bullshit. They
The
need to just put
wheezing.
they need to put ski lifts like everywhere.
We need
That'd be
like
great.
in the airports, right? They got the moving floors. We need
Yes,
one of
yes,
those.
yes, yeah.
Escalator going up the side of the.
That would be fantastic. I
And
think
now
that.
they keep building all the damn parking lots like way the hell away from campus. So they're really gonna need to figure something out.
Yeah, I don't know what that issue is with all colleges. There's just never enough parking
Oh.
spaces.
It
Like
doesn't
they,
help when you build a dorm in the middle of a parking lot. Like that does not help your problem. I just
what?
want to put that out there. I mean, I don't know if that's some big revelation or if it's just me or what, but
I just think we can't say anything because we're not engineers. So,
nope, nope,
so,
nope.
but yeah,
And they thought the solution was building a parking lot that was like a mile outside of maybe not literally, but it's pretty far out there. If you've got a class
yeah,
in like Fisher and you can't find parking and you've got to go way up behind the forestry building, I mean it is actually a mile from your building. I mean,
yeah, just not worth it at that point. And then
now
you park anywhere else, it's like these people love giving out tickets. It was the same thing at Finley. It's just like,
brutal.
dude, do you need like affirmation? Like, do you need me to tell you that I love you and that I'm proud of you? Stop giving me damn tickets.
And they're not cheap now. I mean, the tech ones are like $25 now. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah,
I
I
couldn't
haven't
believe it.
got
That's
one,
insane.
luckily enough, because I'm in the NBA, so all the meters and stuff cancel out after 5. But jeez, it's
I just
ridiculous.
my wife, she's doing the physical therapy with Central, so like they're
Hmm.
in the ATDC, behind the football field, and that's where they
Yeah.
do most of their classes. But they had to go to main campus a couple times, and she couldn't find anywhere to park. And
Okay.
it was like an hour before the parking opens up, and she was like, "I just got to park in this faculty spot. It's just an hour. Like I'll be
Yeah.
fine." No, got a ticket. I was like, "Man, build
It's yeah,
another
it's
parking
bad.
lot."
It's bad. The thing at Finley is it was if you didn't pay off, and I think it was maybe like 4 or 5. And most of these like football players weren't academically inclined in a kind way of putting it. And so they just were like, oh, like if I have a ticket, like my scholarship's gonna pay for it. And I was like, well, no, but I just leave it around. I don't have time to kind of explain it to you. But I've never seen so many cars get booted. like so many boots. I was just like, what the hell is just pay, it's $20. Pay
My
it off.
scholarship.
Yeah,
That's
they would do that every time. And there was one guy that because if you don't pay off your account by the end, like you don't graduate.
yeah,
And this happened to this dude twice. I was like, dude, you're staying here for so long. Just pay the damn ticket. And it was like after 2 weeks, it'd start like accumulating like some sort of compound interest, and it was just getting really bad. I think he owed like 1,500 by the end of the year, and I was like, "How many tickets did you have prior to that?" He was like, "Two." I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're an idiot."
I
But yeah,
hope he doesn't watch this. Right? Yeah.
I hope not too. I
Yeah.
think we'll be safe though.
Okay.
And I didn't
Yeah.
name drop, and that was
No.
I just
No.
described like 8 people. So,
Right. There. None of them are gonna know which one you're talking about because
oh yeah, none at all. They'll probably just point and laugh. But
the
it's
entire football team probably.
probably
Removing yourself.
yeah. I'm exempting maybe 3 people. Yeah. And 2 of them have been on this show, so and that's about it.
Oh man. So you're done with college athletics.
Yeah,
Looking back,
yeah,
I mean, it's over.
yeah, for sure. I think my body's happy it is.
Yeah,
I think it
probably.
kind of would have been because I thought I was going to be able to get another year because my senior year at Findlay, I tore my knee, and then I had my 3 games played, and then the crazy defensive coordinator, like last game of the season, threw me in on kickoff. I haven't played kickoff since high school. Put me in for the one play to make it 4 games. And then, so that took away my medical red shirt. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's just kind of God's way of like saying it's time to get a job, you know?
Yep.
And like you played football 5 years. You got an MBA, you got a bachelor's. Go
Right.
use it. No more pickled eggs and beer. Which I haven't done the Uper challenge yet, but I feel like I'd be really good at it.
You're gonna have to try it before. You said you're gonna be here a little bit in the summer, finishing things
Yeah,
up. So
yeah.
you
I have
have
to
some
take a
time.
track A class. Yeah.
You
I
have
think
some
the
time.
strategy is shot, cut the egg in half, like pinch it or pull apart, swallow each half, like don't even chew. Go half beer, half egg, half beer, half egg, and then you're done.
I've never
It,
done it either. Just saying. And I
so then
grew up
maybe
here.
we need to link up and start like get some practice in. Maybe like a little scrimmage round. We can do like laser timing to see like how it
The Uper challenge training session.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We can just, like log everything for that and see our growth. Like we'll take before and after photos for
Have
like 3 months.
you ever drank the board at the KBC?
I think I've been to the KBC one time.
Wow, that's something. Do
Yeah.
you not like craft brews?
Oh, I do enjoy them. My issue is I don't know when things are gonna go down because it's like I'm friends with the people that are on the team, but I didn't have that 4 to 5 years of camaraderie to kind of just be like, oh, like this is where we're gonna go pregame. This is where we're gonna
Yeah,
end up at. So it's kind of just like, and I feel I'm feeling pretty old, so I might as well. It's like I'm good with just kind of drinking like 3 beers, watching a show, reading my
yeah,
Bible, going to bed.
yeah.
Might
Right.
sound boring to some people, but it's pretty exhilarating for me.
Well, we'll have to go to the KBC
Yeah,
before
for sure. I
before
have
you're
2
gone.
coins for the KBC that are just sitting there.
You got to use them. You got to use them. Those
That's
aren't
the
going to
that's the
work anywhere
idea.
else.
Yeah, I'll probably try and see if I can sneak them in the casino. I do want to go to the casino at least once. I've never done a
It's
gamble
it's not
before.
special. It's not special at all. It's actually quite a dump, just to
Really?
say. But if you are looking for a nice casino, nice little weekend, you get a hotel room at the Island down by Escanaba. Now
Okay.
that's a fun place. Great, really nice casino. They have like concerts there and great golf course too. I've never played it. I'd like to. I've heard it's I just read some article. It was like top 10 in the United States and like
Oh,
some
geez.
ranking for golf courses. Um,
Okay. Okay.
so that's a nice casino, nice hotel, food, sports bars, like bars all over. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What is interesting, if you go to the Ojibwa casino and then the
Hmm.
island, you're like, why did I
Night and
ever go
day.
to the Ojibwa ever? You know, it's
I feel
like,
like it's just kind of like a convenience thing, you know?
yeah, well, that is true. Escanaba's 3 hours away, but it'd be
Hmm.
like staying in a tent or staying in a 5-star suite. You know, like
I
there's
mean,
a
it's a good thing
big
I love
difference.
camping, you know? I enjoy camping.
Yeah. So you've
Yeah.
never gambled ever, like anything?
No,
Never hit up a slot machine or?
no.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like
It
some gentlemen's bets within like our family.
it's I've never like, I mean, like if I'm at an event like at the
Hmm.
island, like I've gone to concerts, like yeah, I'll throw a couple bucks in a
Yeah,
machine
yeah.
just, but I've never been a big gambler. It does
Mhm.
suck some people in, you know, those
Oh, I
bells
can
and
only
whistles
imagine. It's so
ding
easy to
in,
win.
pretty colors, right?
Yeah, I think I would. I'd probably just go to the blackjack table and just kind of sit there.
Mm-hmm.
But probably bring like $20, lose $20, and go like, wow, that was stupid. All right,
And then leave.
yeah, and then leave.
It's fun to watch people like especially at the island because they have more tables and than the jib does, and you know, people like throwing down $1,000 bets and
Oh
stuff, and it's
yeah,
like wow, you know, like I
I'll
mean, I
see
know
that
if you
stuff
go
like
to
on the internet.
Vegas, like
Yeah,
that's a whole nother animal. um but yeah, it's like people just, here's my life savings.
yeah.
Oh crap, I lost. I gotta win it back.
Can't wait till
Oh.
the missus hears about this.
Have you ever seen the movie Vegas Vacation? You know, it's like Christmas Vacation, same characters and whatnot, but they go to
I
Vegas.
can't say I have.
Have you seen Christmas Vacation?
No.
What?
Yeah, I lived a very
Oh my
different
gosh.
childhood of working out
Wow.
and long snapping.
Well, you're gonna
So,
have to watch it next Christmas because it's
I mean, now I'm done
hilarious.
with sports, so I
You'll
have
have a
a,
life again.
yeah, I no longer have a life. So,
No, you will have a life. See, that's the
oh, okay, all right, whichever way is the kindest way of putting it.
no, I you know, I think, boy, that was something tripping over my words right there. What, what I was trying to say is like I've talked to a lot of athletes who
Hmm.
do a college sport and they're like, man, I haven't deer hunted in so long. I haven't done
Yeah.
any of my hobbies, just
Hmm.
completely gone because you get so consumed in your
Yeah.
sport. Because even when you're not in season, you're expected to lift and you're expected
Yeah.
to work out and
Exactly.
do all this stuff. You have just no free time. A couple weeks in the
Hmm.
summer.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I've never deer hunted before. I've done like up land, so like pheasants and quail
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
chuckers.
where it's
We
at.
used to breed like hunting dogs, so we would like train them. So I enjoy doing that. I don't get the fascination of sitting down still and quiet for 4+ hours and then just to lock eyes with, dare I say, an adorable deer just to pull the trigger. I mean, like I love venison, but I don't know if I could just. I don't know if I'm that heartless.
I think the fascination has to do with the beverages they are
I think
consuming
so
and
too. Yeah,
the other activities going on at
for
deer
sure.
camp.
Yes, I have a sibling that goes to deer camp, and
Mm-hmm.
he has yet to come back with a deer. So, but he's got a lot of
How
good
much
stories.
hunting is actually happening?
Oh
That's
no, no, more escaping society.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
can't blame them. I can't blame them. There is
Oh,
something
not at all.
about
Not at all.
going to camp. That's why I love, like you mentioned, bird hunting. I like taking a stroll in the woods. It's
Yeah,
peaceful. It's
you
calm, and
got
then
dogs. You
bird
know.
flies up, and you know, there's my excitement, my 30 seconds of
Yeah,
excitement.
exactly. Until you're just having a really off day, and then you just keep missing.
Yeah.
It's just easier to shoot birds, because they just look like little evil dinosaurs. So.
So, what are your post-college plans? Like, would you do you know where you're gonna go? What you know exactly what you want to do, or
Yeah, so junior year, I was working for a pharmaceutical company called DirectRx. I helped with being the patient care coordinator, worked with one of their account managers, and was also just doing a bunch of stuff with insurance. And I enjoyed it, but I think the side that I enjoyed the most was getting consumer feedback and just knowing that what I was doing was contributing to them getting a beneficial treatment. So I was like, oh, like I'm good at this. I think I'm halfway decent to talking to people. And I was like, oh, like I want to kind of be like an account manager or either a project manager. So I do have a job offer there, and I have a couple inquiries in the Detroit area to be a project manager or an account manager there. So just kind of move towards that way. I just that was one of the reasons why I didn't select engineering is because I don't want to stare at an Excel file every day. And I love my dad, but I mean, I think he's like 62 years old and he's still working like a dog staring at Excel files. And I was just like, that's not intriguing to me at all. So I
Yeah.
would rather not do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I get behind that.
yeah. And then all of my older siblings did that, and including the one that's younger than me, he's working to be a chemical engineer. And I just like, I tip my hat to you, but I would rather get paid to talk to people,
Yeah. Yeah.
or just work with people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make a pivot table. If you need me to, I can, but I do not want to do that.
I used to be able to. I probably still could, but
I think you could. I believe in you. I
I
have
don't
faith in
want
you.
to either.
No, who wants to make those? Those are pivot tables. Ugh, gross. Looking at
Yeah.
Gantt charts. Ugh.
Coding. We didn't have to do much. We had to do little in forestry, and that was horrible. It was awful. I don't know
Yes.
how people do
I'm
that
doing
for
a little
fun.
bit of it right now, and I'm just like flabbergasted. I was like, dude, why do I have to do this? And I'm just so lost.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
kind of what I was working on today in schooling. That and I have like a 27-page report that I have to finish up, but it's not great.
That sounds like fun. I miss that.
You can help me. I'll reference you. So
I think I'm gonna pass on that.
I'll give you a KBC coin for it.
Made it a little bit more intriguing, And
Yeah,
I got to
you just
think
have to
about
clip that out of the, out of the podcast. We can't have this digital paper trail.
No, no, we can't have bribery. That'll get you kicked out. Yeah. One thing I came to realize, well, it's not like some big revelation, but it's just something that I valued more is
Mhm.
I really grew to hate forestry. And I made more money doing that than I do right
Yeah,
now working at the high school, but I'm a hell of a lot happier.
yeah,
So
for sure.
it totally balances. It's worth it to me. I know some people, they will do a job they are miserable at and they'll bring home the bank and like that's how they want to live their life. But I would rather make less money and
Yeah,
enjoy my life, feel good every day, be happy,
hmm
than make
for
more
sure.
money and just hate it.
Yeah, yeah. That was I had the same thing happen to me. Was prior to me working at my internship, and I was just like, I don't need a whole lot. If I can have like a decent amount of land, like maybe like an acre, so I can, piss in my front yard without getting the cops called on me. As long as my bed's dry and I have like a working oven, like I'm okay with that. And there's just some people that they just want it kind of all. And I've seen both sides of that spectrum, and it looks miserable,
Mm-hmm. You're a
because I
low
can get the
maintenance
same
guy, hey?
T-shirt from Salvation Army, and I'll still look better. So they
Low
might be better at
needs,
golf
man.
though,
Yeah, well,
which
what
they
is
can
that
have
worth?
that. That's fine. There
Yeah.
has to be some sort of trade-off. So
I love golfing, but yeah, I'm not good. Not at
yeah,
all.
I didn't golf until I came here, and I had just a freak game first one. It's like, what the hell? I'm kind of decent at golf. And then I go again, and I'm kind of like talking myself up with some of the football guys that I was going with. Not a great day. Not a great day to be a golf ball. Not a great day to be a golf ball. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That happens. It
yeah,
happens.
it does. It does. And it just encapsulates life. That's what golf is. It's life.
It really is.
90% of the time, you're going to shank it.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
But that
That
one
is
clean
true.
hit makes it all worth it.
It does, right? You
It
get
really
that
does.
one 250 to 300 yard drive, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, man, I'm the king of the
Yeah, the
world.
ball went in the woods, but it still went really far.
Yeah. Right across the road. You may have broke somebody's window. I'm just gonna
Oh,
pretend I
I've
didn't
hit some
hear
houses on
anything.
this course. I've hit some houses.
You know what? It's their fault for living next to a
Yeah.
golf course.
And
Like,
they also probably got a sweet insurance plan, and they did that on purpose. So
yeah.
anything they should be thanking me.
Yeah, those windows were getting a little too old anyway. We needed new ones.
Yeah. Ugh. You kidding me? These Uper houses, they insulate the houses with like toilet paper and newspaper. It's not real.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like we said, critters and differences,
yeah, critters.
characters. There's all kinds
Yeah,
of words to describe.
it's definitely interesting. We had a guy, the house that we're living in right now, I don't know what year it was built, but it's been refurbished to probably the best that you could expect someone, maybe like a 15-year-old worked on the house, but everything like looked pretty. But we had a lot of electrical problems and our exhaust fan in our bathroom wasn't working, so we called up an electrician and he gets there and he starts asking me questions like, how would you fix this? I was like, I don't know. And then he hands me some blueprints that he found online. But prior to that, he's like, hey Siri, how do you fix an exhaust fan? And I was like, we're paying this guy? You can't do that. And then he just started having me like do the work, and I was like, dude, you need to leave. But I mean, he ended up getting the job done. It just took him like 3 days.
That's interesting. That is an interesting story.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people like that. Yeah, over the summer I worked for an elderly guy who used to be a professor here. He was an engineer, really really smart, very prideful, and like I would be too if I were in his shoes. And he would have us do like a bunch of odd jobs. And there was a guy there by the name of Murphy, and he would come up to us and go like, "Did I ever tell you I went to prison?" And I was like, "No, you don't have to like tell me that. Like I'm cool if you don't want to say the story." And he's like, "Oh no, I'll say it anyway." And he's got maybe 3 teeth, but they're all the front ones, so you can't even like tell. And he was like, "Yeah, I was mailing meth to my house." I was like, "Oh, so you didn't know that was illegal? You just made it a federal issue?" And then yeah, that happened, and working with him, I don't think he did a single thing every day. He just would stand next to me, and then yeah, would eat a sandwich very loud. He was very good at doing that.
It's the
So
classic when you drive by a construction site, there's more guys leaning on the shovel smoking cigarettes than
yeah,
there are actually digging a hole. I mean,
exactly. That's precisely it. It's it's disheartening, but that's the reality of things.
it's a funny life we live. Very
Oh
funny
yeah,
life we
especially here in good old Houghton, Michigan.
live. Yes, sir. Well, let's change to a little more. I don't know. I guess I don't want to say serious note, but like,
Yeah.
um, you said earlier in the podcast that your faith was very important to you.
Hmm.
And in your Instagram bio, you've got Proverbs 12:24. For
Hmm.
those who don't know, I mean, obviously, there's so many different iterations but they're all around the same
Yeah, but they're
thing.
generically all kind of gets to the same thing.
Right, right. The hand of the diligent will rule, while the slothful will be put to forced labor. So,
Hmm.
what does that, I guess, mean to you? And like, why is that one that you picked to put out there and kind of share with everybody who looks at your, social media? They're going to see that.
Yeah, I remember it was the one of the first times I like heard it. You kind of just like think like, oh, like the lazy people are like gonna work hard, and the hardworking people are gonna be like successful. And then what I always kind of like linked it back to was the parable in Matthew. I think it's Matthew like 20 or something, 25, uh, where the master's handing out money or talents, and the guy who got 5 talents went and doubled it, and the guy that got like three went out and got like two more talents. But the one guy that got one, like he buried it in the ground and didn't do anything with it. So just seeing that the hardworking are always going to prevail, regardless of what you're doing. Just always put your best foot forward, because that just obviously leans back to put the best construction on everything. And I I started working in a factory when I was like 13 years old. Maybe I was fibbing about my age, but it was always work hard now so I don't have to work as hard kind of later. And it's like this is going to develop me towards that. And then going back to kind of the parable in Matthew, it's to never kind of get comfortable like where you're at, where it's like regardless of where you're sitting, see how you can branch out from that. Like if that branch falls and dies, at least that points you into a new direction where you're supposed to be like headed. Which is kind of like constantly keep moving and then you will be ahead of others. You're not like standing above anyone, but if you just keep your feet moving and keep that kind of grind going, I think that's something that helped me get through my time at Findlay.
Yeah, for sure. The old saying, idle hands are the devil's workshop, right?
Yeah.
When you're sitting around, when you're not doing anything, we don't have a purpose, when you don't have a
Hmm.
goal, whatever it is, usually leads to doing something stupid or, just kind of setting yourself back. Um, it you gotta be a hard worker to have any
Hmm.
success in life, and that's at your job, that's in your faith. Like you can't just
Hmm.
be lazily like, yeah, I believe in God. That's about
Exactly.
it.
It's like,
Like,
well, so does Satan, and he probably knows the Bible better than you do. So what are you going to do to differentiate yourself from that?
right. Yeah. And there's not one right way to do it or one,
Hmm.
I mean, there's so many different ways you can do it, but you got to do stuff. I mean, it
Yeah.
just applies all across life. And if you look at people who don't, I mean, you can kind of see the consequences,
Oh yeah,
both
for
both
sure.
in your life of faith and in your personal life with your job, whatever is going on. Um,
Hmm.
I think when I was talking to Pierce, I like it was like it's like a water, right? When it sits stagnant, it gets gross. Like you got a
Yeah.
pond, there's nasty crap growing in it. But if you have a
Hmm.
nice flowing stream, it's moving, it's like working towards something. It's
Stays
crisp, it's
nice and
clean. You
pure.
could like drink that.
Oh yeah. Maybe you're not supposed to, but you can.
Right, yeah. So it's the same thing in life. And the devil will always, he's a trickster. I mean, he is
Yeah.
the king of tricks. He'll try to trick you into believing that
Hmm.
doing nothing or whatever, like that's the right way and you're gonna
Hmm.
feel better. And yeah, man, do drugs. Like you're
Yeah.
just gonna chill out and like, you know what I mean? And but that's definitely not the way to go.
Hmm.
And I mean, obviously, we're humans. We're gullible, and we like to think that we know everything. So
Hmm.
you get sucked into that, and then he throws one of his tricks in there, and all of a sudden you're in a world of trouble.
Yeah, for sure. I've always said that the devil is the best marketer known to man, and he knows which kind of wheels to turn. And something interesting, I can't remember who I heard this from, was the devil is not against good works, you know. He's against doing good works because of your faith in Jesus. He just wants to eradicate that, you know. So it's like he'll trick you into be like, "Oh yeah, just be like a good person and like that'll get you into heaven," which is kind of pulling you away from it's not your good works that gets you into heaven. It's your faith in Christ and believing what he did on the cross. So it was that was something I was like, "Oh, like that's a good point of putting it that way."
Yeah, you got to have a combination of everything. You got to be a good
Hmm.
person. You got to do good things, but you have to have a strong faith
Hmm.
as well. You can't just like you said, just like I believe in God and I'm nice to people, so I'm set
Hmm.
for life.
Yeah.
Um, because there's atheists out there who are super friendly, nice people.
Yeah, exactly.
They,
And you can
they don't
carry on a
believe in God at
conversation.
all.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but I think what you said about him being a salesman, I mean, that's like a perfect, like he can sell death, make it
Oh yeah,
sound good.
exactly. Yeah.
And right, people fall for it with, you think about it, especially with like drug and alcohol problems.
Hmm.
And I mean, he preys on weakness too, or like when
Yeah,
you're down in the dumps, that's when he jumps in
exactly.
there, tries to sell you this, happiness. This is going to make
Yeah.
you feel better. This is going to get you out of it. But what he's really doing is just wrapping his claws around you and,
Hmm.
and dragging you down. And yeah, and you have to be mindful of that, right? You have
Yeah.
to understand that. If you don't, if you just live that life, just got to do the bare minimum and I'll be
Yeah.
fine. Then you're just playing right into his hand.
hmm Another way where it's kind of like uh, obviously disheartening, but once you're kind of pleading for forgiveness, knowing that you are forgiven, like he wants you to be discouraged. Like Christ doesn't want you to be discouraged. I mean, obviously he wants you to be heartfully sorry for your sins and sincerely kind of repent of them, but he doesn't want you to sit there and sulk. He wants you to get up and kind of keep moving forward. And anytime I'll repent for something, it'll be like, oh, like I can't like sit here and sulk. Like that's what the devil wants you to do. Because then it's like I got to keep kind of moving forward because I'm just kind of falling into his trap because there's two sides of where he can catch you. And it's just interesting that he's got kind of like that double-edged sword for that.
Yeah,
But
right. I mean, and we pile on ourselves so much.
mhm.
Like, you beat yourself up for doing something. Maybe it's something you struggle with, so you do it
Yeah,
over and over and over, and then enter the devil into the group chat, and
yeah.
he, you know, you're a terrible person. You're horrible. You're
hmm
never gonna beat this. And then all of a sudden you just start piling it more and more
Yeah.
and more, and
hmm
when you it's the more guilt you make yourself feel, the more you pile on, the more likely you are to do it again because you're like,
Exactly.
what's the point? Like, I can't be fixed, so why does it matter?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse. Like you're just going to put yourself in a darker and darker hole. And I mean, that's where he thrives is in all those dark places. So
Yeah.
you
And
can't dig yourself you just can't dig yourself in a hole.
right.
You got to know.
And I mean, the thing we all have to remember in the end is we're all sinners. We're always
hmm
going to be sinners, and we'll never be perfect. And it's a
Exactly.
hard thing to realize. It's a hard thing to follow through with because the world preaches perfection and
Yeah.
society preaches that you have to be perfect and all of this stuff you do. Um, but I mean, that just gets you into trouble, and that goes into like you trying to control your life. And no, you just got to trust in God's
Yeah.
plan. Trust that
Exactly.
He's going to put things in front of you that are good for you. He's going to turn you
hmm
away from things that aren't. Everything happens for a reason. You might not
Yeah.
know that reason right in the
Oh yeah.
moment,
Exactly. Yeah.
but when you look back, you're going to be like, it makes sense now. Like, why did I
Percent.
ever doubt?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Sometimes he'll give you stuff directly, and sometimes he'll give you stuff kind of like indirectly. If you ask for
Right.
kind of strength, he'll send a nice little challenge towards your way to kind of strengthen you. And some people will see those challenges as like, oh, like why do you like hate me, God? And it's just kind of like I'm just kind of giving you what you asked for, but it's not that you have to do the work, but you have to see the understanding of why it's kind of taking place. And like you
Right.
said, sometimes it takes time for you to understand, like, oh, like that's why that happened.
Right. And if you ask for something, like you kind of said, it's not always direct. Like sometimes it's
hmm
like, I'm going to give you all the pieces you need,
Yeah,
but you have to put them
yeah,
together. Like I'm
and
not
and
just going
that's
to
why,
give you a car. You've got to build
yeah,
the car,
yeah,
or whatever. Like I'll give you
yeah,
what you need to
yeah,
do it. Like you meant the challenge. I mean, like, yeah, if you ask God for strength, he's not just gonna like you're gonna wake up and like, oh, I'm unstoppable. It's like,
yeah,
no, you're gonna
exactly.
go through some struggles. And I feel like people always look at struggles as and failures as bad things.
hmm
And but 99% of the time you come out better than you went into that
Yeah,
struggle.
yeah. Because I mean, you're either progressing or you're regressing. There's no like just float point to that. So one of the better analogies, at least I think so, is Christ gives you a ticket to Hawaii, but it's your job to get to the airport and leave on time because he gives you that free will. That's why he like sets up the things that he does, and that just proves that he's a loving God in that sense. Because if he wasn't loving, that would be pretty selfish of him to just be like, no, we're all doing it this way, and you can't like escape me, you know.
Right.
So, and it's interesting to see that, as at least when I grow older, to kind of put that emphasis on as a heavenly father, because just seeing how like my dad would treat things, like sometimes you gotta let your kid go do something stupid so he can come back and go like, wow, that was really dumb. But you know,
Yeah. You grow. I mean, you grow through mistakes, you grow through
mhm,
failures, and you're always going to have something. Like life is never
yeah,
going to be easy. Just because you believe in God, you love God, doesn't mean you're going to live a life that's super
mhm,
easy and nothing bad's ever going to happen. And I
yeah,
feel like people always look to blame God. Why did God
mhm,
let this happen? Why did God do this? If there's a shooting, if there's a major
yeah,
accident, a plane crash, why did God let this happen? Well, God didn't let it happen. The
mhm.
world,
That
like
was
he's
the free will.
there's
Yeah,
free will, there's all this other stuff going on, but look at what happens after. Look at the community come
yeah,
together. The
exactly.
goodness, that's God working. He's taking
Hmm.
this struggle and he's bringing something good out of it.
Hmm. It's every good and perfect gift is from above. I think that's, I can't remember which one that is. But yeah, I remember that was something that was always told to me, and kind of understanding it now, where it's like, oh wow, yeah, like every good and perfect gift is from above, and it's him working through me to kind of get this done, because the only thing that I it's like your sinful flesh is always going to want to take over, and it's like your body's uh, the temple of Christ, and that same power that rose him from the dead, which Holy Week, let's go. A lot of mixed emotions this week, but Sunday's always a good time. But yeah, it's really interesting seeing how it goes, where you can sit back after all kind of stuff is kind of situated itself out and just be like, oh wow, yeah, that was all God. That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Easter to everybody.
Yeah,
It's he's risen. This is it's a
yeah,
important time of the year for church. I feel like it's often, as ridiculous as it sounds, but often overlooked. Like people look at Christmas and they're like, "Oh, Christmas is like so important. Lord is
hmm.
born," and like all this. But like people sometimes it's like,
That's
"Yeah,
only leading
Easter."
up to what's happening
Right.
now.
It's like, "Oh, Easter." It's like, no, it's like, yeah, Easter. It's not
Yeah,
just like, "Oh, Easter."
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
It's huge.
Oh,
And
yeah.
part of that might be the way society treats them as like
Hmm.
holidays, right? Like Christmas is so hyped up, and then Easter is
Yeah,
whatever, and then like people just kind of fall into that trap. Um,
yeah,
but if you separate that, and I'm not saying that stuff's not great. I mean, of course, go Easter Bunny, Peter Cottontail, whatever. Like that's
yeah.
all great and fun. But if you separate the two and you really look at the true meaning, I mean, it really
Behind
is a
them, yeah.
monumental week.
Hmm. For sure, for sure. It's always uh kind of bittersweet as you're going through like Holy Week. Like you have Monday, Thursday, which is today, and then you have Good Friday, and then you have Easter Sunday, and it's you're like, oh, like thank you so much, like Christ, for doing this for me. And then I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Passion that Mel
I have
Gibson
not.
directed.
I would like to because I know he's making another one.
Yeah, that one I'm really excited for. But The Passion, it's on Netflix right now, because
Okay.
I was either gonna watch it today or tomorrow, and you're just kind of watching the movie and you're like, oh my gosh, like I did that to him, but it's like he did that for me,
Yeah.
and you're just sitting there and you get a little choked up because you're just like, oh my gosh, like did absolutely nothing to deserve this at any point in my life. Was there anything that was like, oh yeah, like he should have done that for me?
Right.
And you have all throughout society, a lot of people become self-proclaimed gods, but only one God became man to save them.
Right.
And it's like if that
Yeah.
isn't a deciding factor to just prove his immense love for everyone, then I honestly have no idea what else he could have done to prove it.
Yeah. Sent his only begotten son to die for our sins. I mean,
Yeah.
that my tradition, or the like my family's tradition, was always watch the Ten Commandments. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah,
seen
that's a
that.
good one. Yeah. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
have it on
I mean,
VHS.
it's a classic. It's an old. I mean, their special effects are kind of comical. But it's,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
great story. And you've got the Jews, right? I mean, once they
Mhm.
get out and Moses is up on the mountain and they start making their false gods and their false idols,
Yeah,
and it's just like, man,
yeah.
really?
It's tough, but it's so easy to judge from an outsider's
Oh
perspective.
yeah. Hmm.
But then you just, because I mean, like as a kid, I was like, what the heck are these guys' problems?
Yeah, what are they doing?
They just watched an entire ocean get split in half and they walked through it. And then they were like, oh, we're hungry. Oh, sent manna and quail. And God has a little bit of a sense of humor of having it fall from heaven so hard that it like goes down into the ground like a foot or two. And then you get Moses striking the rock to have like water running out. And it was like they're still just doing that all the time. And then you see that, and then, like as a kid, I was like, they just witnessed so many miracles, and yet like Moses was gone for what? It's like babysitting. Because I don't know, I can't remember how long he was on the mountaintop for, but I can't imagine it was longer than maybe like a week.
I can't
Because I
remember how long it was either, but they lost faith really quickly.
yeah, really quick, they were just like, oh, what do you guys want to do? I was like, want to make a false god? And they're
Yeah.
like,
See that
sure.
gold thing over there? Let's pray to
Yeah.
that.
You know how cool it would be if we all just like, started worshiping it, but like as a joke though. We won't take it farther than that.
Yeah,
But
and even his brother Aaron like gets
mhm,
right in there. It's like, wow,
yeah,
it is really, but just a great story,
oh for sure.
great
The
story.
animated version's fantastic.
I can't say I've ever
That's
seen the
so good. You
animated
haven't
version.
seen that one? The
No,
Pixar one? Oh
no,
my
I
gosh, that
have.
was like amazing. Soundtrack, beautiful.
I really want to see the King of Kings, but it's not in our theater. It's just came out. It's
Okay.
um it's like the whole premise is Charles Dickens is telling his son the story of Jesus, and it like
Mhm.
goes, it's animated and it like goes through telling
Oh yeah, my
Jesus'
little brother
story.
just sent me that. Yeah.
And like Oscar Isaac is Jesus, Pierce Brosnan is Pontius Pilate,
Hmm.
and I can't remember. There's like a Mark Hamill is in it. Like there's like this super
Yeah.
awesome cast, and I mean, great story. Obviously, any story about Jesus is one
Yeah.
worth
It's
sharing. But
usually pretty
really,
cool.
it looks really good, and I'm bummed because our theater doesn't have it.
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't seen Moses.
I'm gonna have to add it to the list. I need to get on The Chosen. That's on my list. I've
I
heard really
started
good
trying to
things
like
about it.
watch it. I think it was I
Yeah.
started trying to watch like House of David. And I can't remember what was going on, but I was like, oh, this kind of seems like I should maybe pay attention to this. I think my dad was like sleeping and he was snoring pretty loud, so I was like, no, I'm not reading subtitles, so I snoring's happening. Yeah, they have Moses and they have Joseph, King of Dreams, the Pixar movies.
Never seen those.
Oh my goodness, so good.
Hmm.
Took them just for
Oh,
like to animate the scene where Moses departs, like or when God uses Moses to apart the Red Sea. It took him 2 years just to sketch that up.
wow. That's
It's
crazy.
so good. I
That's
think that's
wild.
on Peacock.
Oh, I have that, so I'll
Yeah,
check it out.
because I watched that and I was like, oh, I might as well just watch Joseph, King of Dreams. Which, oh gosh, I remember like being a kid. Anytime there was like a mishaps that happened with me and my siblings, I was like, oh, I feel like Joseph, and it's like, no, you didn't get sold into slavery, dude. But yeah, it was always interesting, but fantastic. 10 out of 10. Need to watch it.
Good movie suggestions for everyone out there for
Yeah.
your Holy Week viewing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. And if you don't
Yeah.
like it, there's probably something wrong with you. Not to judge.
I just there's nothing you can say. You can't say it's boring because the stories surely aren't boring,
Oh yeah, it's
and
fantastic.
they're super impactful. And I mean, yeah, I mean it's I don't understand what there isn't to like about it. I really don't.
Yeah, it has everything in it. I don't know what's going on with my lighting. Keep
You're in
like
the
disappearing.
you're in the shadows
I
now.
know. If I like lean,
You're
trying to
ready
find
to
my
dip out. You're ready to be done. So you're like, shutting the lights off. It's time to go home. bouncing out. Yeah,
Oh. Nope, Moses does have everything. It's got a nice little love story. It's got all the action. It's got a hell of a lot of drama.
yeah. It's. I mean, you gotta. Yeah, it's got everything
There's
you
great
need.
lore.
Yeah, I mean, most of the stories from the Bible, they're pretty pretty awesome.
Oh, pretty, yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
fantastic.
you can't make up better characters than that. Like you
That's
just
what
can't.
I never understood because in like maybe the past 5 years, we have not seen an original movie idea that was like, wow, you know?
That yeah.
It's just all kind
Usually,
of like redone of something that's in the past. And if I were an atheist or anything, I would pull so much stuff from the Bible. Like
yeah.
just pulling that like out of retrospect, like taking God out of the image, which obviously don't do that. But if you were a movie director in Hollywood, you could make so many just amazing movies. I know they tried to do the Noah. I never watched that, but
Or they could just right not pull God. They could make
yeah,
an amazing movie, right? Funny
exactly.
concept.
It doesn't make sense. It's like, what the heck? They're redoing this movie again? And
It's either like there's another Mission Impossible. You know, like what is that?
yeah.
Like number 8 in the series? I mean, come on.
Oh wow, it's gonna be
Where's
Tom
the
Cruise sprinting at one point.
where's the
Cool.
originality? I will say, Top Gun Maverick.
That was
Like,
good. I
love
still
that
haven't
movie.
seen it.
Oh, my favorite movie now. Like it's become
Brilliant.
my. I thought it was that much better than the first one.
Well, you haven't seen
Favorite.
Moses yet, so that'll become your favorite movie.
I have not seen many movies though in the last however many
Okay.
years that I've like really loved. One of
Hmm.
them, Anyone But You. Did you see that? That with Glenn Powell, Sydney Sweeney. That was really funny,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's not original because it's based off of a Shakespeare play.
Oh, it
Like
is?
it is. It's I think it might be Much Ado About Nothing, which I actually
Okay.
watched not that long ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, this all happened in in Anyone But You. Like literally everything in this Shakespeare play, they just copied that and put it in like modern times in normal language.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was a funny movie, so I'm cool
It
with
seemed a little goofy, a little silly.
it.
But yeah.
But I have
I'm
yeah,
a
I
sucker
haven't
for rom-coms, so
yes.
any
And Glenn
rom-com.
Powell, I'm a sucker for Glenn Powell. Like
Yeah, absolutely shredded.
I
Jeez.
mean,
How can you
that
hate the
guy,
guy?
I want to be his friend. Like, it just seemed like
Yeah.
he'd be a fun guy to be friends with.
I would give him a KBC coin for
Yeah,
sure. For
just one
sure.
though.
Just so yeah, one. I
Give him a
can't give out
chance to
all.
prove that he deserves more.
Yeah. And he has to do the Uper challenge in front of me.
And then he's got to drink the board the next day.
Yeah, exactly.
He
Exactly.
he'd probably be fine. Looking at him, he'd probably be fine.
Yeah, I think so.
He can handle
He's a big boy.
it.
He's a big boy.
We need to get some like Packers linemen up here and have them do the Uper challenge and
Oh
like
yeah.
drink the board at the KBC, see how they do. I mean, I'm sure they'd absolutely kill it. You see those
I think
guys
they'd
drink
like it.
beer.
Yeah. I mean, there's more bars than there are churches in Wisconsin. So, are you from Wisconsin?
No, I'm from here.
Oh, okay. Love to hear that. You mentioned the Green Bay Packers, and I was like, oh,
I
that's
just
the
meant because like
Packers.
that's what everybody's a fan of up
Oh,
here is the
okay. Yeah.
Packers, right?
Well,
Like we're in
obviously
Michigan, but they don't care about the Lions, oddly enough.
the better team is obviously the Lions, but
I am indifferent to both, so I will not argue with you
yeah.
about that.
Okay. Okay.
I hate them both. I root for both to suck. Just because then I can rub it into everybody I know, all my friends.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like
That's
I
very
don't root for a single team in Michigan. I mean, I just have
okay.
never been like that. Like my college is Notre Dame. Go Irish. Huge Notre Dame fan.
That's fair.
My baseball team is the Arizona Diamondbacks. My football team's the Tennessee Titans. I'm all over the board. And when I'm at work, I'm like whoever the Tigers are playing, I'm rooting for the other team just to piss off
What
my
the
buddy
hell?
at work. You know, like
Where did you
I'm
get
just that
off?
jerk, right? Like
I mean, you should be excited for Cam Ward.
I don't.
You don't like Cam Ward?
I don't know. I don't. I really don't like how he quit on his teammates in the ball game. I get he he didn't want to get hurt, but like they could have won the game, and he was like, "No, I'm not going back in." Like, sorry guys, like see ya.
Yeah.
And like that scares
A
me.
little bit of
Like,
ignorance. It's kind of like that Cam Newton thing in the Super Bowl.
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like this quarterback draft class sucks. Like,
I think Jackson
come
Dart's good. I like Jackson Dart.
Yeah, he's
He
all
proved
right.
himself really well during the combine.
But I
Shador,
mean,
I
like,
do not think he's that good of a quarterback.
no, he's overrated. He's overrated, but his number's retired now.
Yeah, him and Travis Hunter. Tim Tebow's jersey isn't even retired.
It's ridiculous. But like, if you compare it to, I don't know, some of the other, like last year, like I would have taken Jaden Daniels over anybody in this draft
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
It's just
I mean, but
amazing.
that's pretty easy to say now after seeing what Jane Daniels did. Because prior, I don't think anyone predicted that he was going to do what he did.
I don't
Because
know.
even
I
at
think.
LSU, I didn't think he was that explosive.
Oh, really? I thought he was the clear. I mean, I was
Oh
a
no,
big
didn't
like.
he win
I
a
was on the.
Heisman?
He did. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe I just wasn't watching football that year.
I was on the Penix train though. I was like, yeah, this guy's the real
As
deal.
was
He's gonna.
I. As was
I
I. I
know.
was like, this dude's going to be really good. I got nervous when Michigan was going to play him because I was like, oh no, dude, they're gonna just air raid us. And then, oh, wow, we won by a lot. Let's go.
Talk about Michigan. Talk about how overrated JJ was. Guy did not deserve to be drafted in the first round at all. No way. You cannot convince me otherwise. And I have many Michigan friends that agree with me.
Yeah, I will agree with you, but I do understand kind of him getting drafted in the first round.
I
You got
think
an
they're going to
ex
suck this
NFL
year.
football coach
I think they're going to
that,
suck.
huh?
I said I think they're going to suck this year. Yeah,
The
they're going to
Vikings?
be. I think they're going to be
Oh, I
brutal.
think they were idiotic for trading Sam Darnold. That was
I
so
think
stupid.
with JJ at the helm,
JJ looks like a 120-pound frat kid. They like panned to him, and I was like, that guy plays NFL quarterback? What the hell?
but
You're gonna
then
get killed
have you
guys.
ever seen like those like combine pictures of like Mac Jones?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
no offense to Mac Jones, he's playing in the NFL. I am not, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like I look just
But
like
does he
that.
have a
So
podcast? No.
probably not. No, he doesn't know anything about anything in the UP.
Yeah. Was he a Forester?
No,
No.
absolutely not. Did he
Yeah.
play intramural flag football at Michigan Tech? No.
Hell no. I did the
Oh
volleyball
man.
this year and great time.
Mm-hmm.
But we our team drew the club team first round.
Ooh, those
And
guys are good.
they were ranked 15th in the nation. And like
Those guys are good.
yeah, they're playing in like Phoenix right now. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
how is this fair? Like I'm not signing up for football. Like I thought there was like rules.
That's how it was for most of the IM in IM flag football. My last year at Tech, our first game, it was a bunch of former Tech football players, guys that like played 2 or 3 years, and then like for
Yeah.
some reason they weren't on the team anymore. And I was like, how is this fair? Like they've got a guy who's 6'5" and he
Yeah.
looks like he plays for the Packers. They've got another guy who was a quarterback for Tech who's like 6'4". Like, okay, how are we gonna compete with that? I
Yeah,
mean, and we
exactly.
didn't. We did not. Let me tell you. I think we were tied, or maybe we were losing by like one with like
Mhm.
30 seconds before half. I was like, oh yeah, like this
We
is
got it.
awesome. We're gonna no throws like a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown, and let's just say we never scored again in the
Oh,
second half. You know,
bless your heart.
I played the volleyball too once. That was fun. We were,
It's a
again,
blast.
same thing though. You get a club team. Whew, yeah.
Yeah.
I am basketball. You football players, I always put together a little squad,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. My roommates
yeah,
won that this year. So,
yeah, they usually do. The athleticism, like I don't care if you play basketball or
yeah.
not. The athleticism, you just got more than we do.
Yeah. That's true. It's true.
And I even tried to recruit all these guys that were on the football. I got them on my team. I was like, all right, I got like 3 or 4 guys who did play
Yeah. This
football.
should
Is
be
that
plenty.
nope? It was not plenty.
Oh, that's tough.
But good times. Good times.
Oh,
Fun
yeah.
to look
Oh,
back
yeah.
on.
Some would say great, you know.
Maybe. The people who want to stay in college forever would say fantastic.
Yeah. Highlights, even. So,
Those frats that would show up just higher than a kite, no idea what planet they're on. Like those guys love college. They do.
oh, yeah. They really do. I can tell it. I can see it in their face.
Yeah, there's just something about them.
And they're like oddly invested in the stock market, you know. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they like to look at the clouds and like the stars. Ooh.
Everything just comes together for them.
Right, yeah. Well, question the universe. Oh, well. Mhm. Oh man, Isaac, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Good
Oh,
time.
I had a great
Glad you
time,
hopped
man.
on.
Yeah, I was happy I came here. It was a good little study break, good
Yeah.
conversations. I now
Heck
have a
yeah.
couple movies that I need to watch, and so do you.
Yes, we do. Yeah. And
But
then we'll
other than
have to
that,
go use some chips at the KBC
yeah,
and we'll have to
yeah,
talk about those movies. We'll
yeah. We'll do a little like rerun. What were your kind of thoughts on it? Maybe we can do a
yeah.
SWOT analysis on them.
Yeah.
Who
There we
knows?
go. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.